Several years ago we got security gates that are well known throughout the city of Belfast in many areas. They prevent all kinds of antisocial and criminal behaviour. We had to lobby for 2 years for those because there isn't a big political interest in this area. We are kind of neglected that way. But when we did get the gates in, it made a massive improvement to our quality of life. We looked at the empty space, and as you can see here, it was a pretty derelict alley, and thought it would be good if we could put in flowers. We just had a general idea of reclaiming this piece of space for community use.
I suppose the last 10-15 years it really began to be used as a sort of dumping ground basically for bins, and I think there was a bit of drug dealing going on, possibly some prostitution, which it just wasn't a very comfortable or safe place to be coming out into. And so to see it now as it is just lovely. It feels like a really safe, welcoming, neighbourhood, inclusive sort of place.
If you look around some of the other alleys in the area here, a lot of them have just fallen into disrepair, disuse. They're just basically derelict spaces, unused, unloved, unwanted. This one, if you actually look down, I think this is one of the unique alleys in the area because there's a lot of greenery in it naturally, a lot of trees, shrubs in people's back gardens.
Why was it important to get the neighbours and the community involved with this initiative?
Well, because this is an area that I've said to you before, it has been written off politically and socially, and planners and politicians just think that's it, it's gone. This is a vibrant community. We're trying to encourage more young families, more people of differing ages to come in here, and it was really important that everybody was in support. So we went door to door, and I have to say all the neighbours in the 3 areas have been really involved and really great.
Participation is the key, to be honest with you. If you don't involve people, then it just becomes something that's being done to you, and you're likely to trigger resentment and suspicion and paranoia. So what I did like was there was a lot of, involvement in the decision making. We arranged days to meet up as neighbours, and people just kind of voted with their feet and started helping out. And then as some people helped out, then other people came out to look out their back door to see what was happening and said, and we were saying, come and join in. And we all brought food. And so it sort of rolled into quite a nice communal event. And I think that really helped.
That's been a positive benefit, I think, to that. I'm sure you know what it's like when you move into somewhere new. It might take you some time, some months, some years even, before you know the people either side of you. We know dozens of people on the same street as us, the street behind us, the adjacent street. So, it's been a great community building element to it as well. So it's been really good that way.
For me, it's really quite unique, and I felt like I had stepped into something like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, because the idiosyncratic nature of each of the different almost rooms of colour and the playfulness of it. And Alison's a good friend of mine, so this is an added bonus that I get to sit in such a floral, creative, enticing space and enjoy a cup of coffee with a friend. Personally, I appreciate the amount of work that has been put into this, but it's not rocket science to take a few things and put them together and get people to play with them. This could be an adult's form of play, really, getting people out and simply as they can make something constructive out of their alleyway. Look at the pleasure it brings.
We've already sort of given some of our advice to another alleyway project in the area as well, so they've come along, had a look at ours, seen the colourful work that we've done, a lot of paint work been done as well, a lot of cutting back of just overgrown greenery, stuff like that. So it really has livened up the whole alley project, and we've got a lot of positive feedback from all the various groups that have been involved in the alley project, the like of Queen's, DRD, City Church across the road, a lot of community groups involved as well. So a lot of support that we've got, and a lot of positive feedback from people who want to replicate this in their alleyway as well.
What has the progress been now in 2015?
Progress has been substantial, really. We have interest from everywhere. We have interest from the Department of Regional Development, who've seen our cobblestones and are doing a major project on whether or not we're going to be a big pilot in terms of developing permeable surfaces for alleyways in the future. We've gained support from Belfast City Council. We're entered for Belfast in Bloom, which we hope we'll star in. And basically all the statutory agency support us, all the residents support us, and we've had An official opening at Queen's came along and officially opened the alleyway. So we've made friends and influenced people all around. I just think the transformation from this to this has been exceptional. And because we've been working on it, we don't actually really see it. But every time you bring somebody in, the terms and the words that have been used, Tony Gallagher said, it's magical. It's just really fantastic. And it's a very good example of how communities can help themselves and not be dependent upon people in positions of authority. Because if we had depended on politicians and people in positions of authority, we wouldn't have got this. Now we have them coming in supporting us. We do want their support. But this is community self-help in action.